Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to...
Good evening and thank you for joining us. You're watching Atn Politics. It's the network's flagship program that discusses core political trends with relevant political stakeholders. Today on Atn Politics, we will be discussing core issues from different political landscapes. And we start with Ondo Guba. APC will lose if primary not cancelled. Oloye Logun. Ondo State, Ayedatiwa unveils campaign office despite protest. From the APC, praises alarm over alleged plot against Tinubu. Presidency, Tinubu still popular in Northwest amidst plots and WDA. We will go on a short break now, and when we come back, I will introduce my guest and we will dive right into the conversation. Stay with us.
Everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their mind.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today. and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
Welcome back. Joining me on the conversation today is a legal practitioner and a political analyst, Alabo Eugene Ode. You're welcome, sir.
My pleasure.
Thank you. And on to our stories. A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, Bamidele Oloyelogun, said the party will lose the forthcoming Ondo State governorship election if Saturday's primary is not cancelled. Oloyelogun stated this at a press conference in Akure on Tuesday. He said, "It is on record, including that of the Independent National Electoral Commission, that there was no ward out of the 203 wards in the state that election was held. They just manufactured figures. The evidence is that today our members are not jubilating because the process that led to the announcement and declaration of the winner was a fraud perpetrated against them." Barrister, since the conduct of election that saw the emergence of Aida Tiwa as the flag bearer of the APC, there has been quite a back and forth, quite a rancor amongst other aspirants, aggrieved aspirants as well, and there has been calls for cancellation of the election. And Oloyelogun, I will go with the last statements where he highlighted how that no elections was held in 3 wards. That's a huge allegation, if I may, because, I mean, coming out to say that in all of the 203 wards, all results seen were manufactured. There were no elections. What do you make of that? What is a reaction?
Well, this reaction from this fellow is a normal and usual reaction from not enjoy the favor of the system, as it were. There is no time when party primaries have been conducted at any level where you've had people agree 100% with the process. Now, what he's saying, he may not be speaking for the entire people of Ondo State. Like I often say, the office of the governor is not a party issue, stricto sensu. Of course, the process of recruitment of the personnel begins from the party. But generally speaking, when you now come outside the party and now make categorical statements like this, you seem to be undermining the interests of the entire people of Ondo State, because they will be the ones to decide the political party, as it were. There are a lot of members, there are a lot of citizens in Ondo State who are not political, who are not but who have interests in the development and good governance of the state. So if they find this not fit for the office of governor, you won't say because you in the political party are aggrieved, therefore grievance will affect or rub off on the electorates who will have the ultimate power to elect who they choose, who they want to govern the state. If you see so far, after this present governor emerged, you will see that as the time progressed from when he was sworn in as governor, when he took over, you could see that the man had started enjoying legitimacy, enjoying approval from a large number of the people of Ondo State because of his inclusive policies and good governance. So that is what matters at the end of the day. Okay. Now, as for the APC primaries, there is no gainsaying that probably there could have been some hiccups here and there, but it's not to say that because there were one or two instances where maybe there were some electoral irregularities, therefore the entire process cancelled. But that's a matter for judicial review. Anybody who is aggrieved by the Electoral Act has a window to vent their grievances.
But
By
does he,
instituting maybe a pre-election action to see what they can indeed those allegations have merit, the court will decide one way or the other.
but does he have the right to make such a statement declaring that in the 203 wards there were no elections?
Those allegations, like I said, which of course one individual cannot just, it's personal to him. Like I said, that may not represent the true position on the ground. When you make such assertions, it's subject to proof. And the only place you can test those assertions to know whether they have merit or not is in the court of law. Definitely, if it is true and it is found that indeed, of course, you know, Bradford. Because if they go through the normal delegate elections, as usually is the case, the incumbent government may manipulate the list, and then at the end of the day, you now have an electoral college that is skewed in favor of the incumbent governor. So it was generally agreed, you know, by the national working that as for Ondo primary election, it should be thrown open to all party faithful to determine who becomes the flag bearer of the party. So for you to come out and say all the wards in the state, there was no election, that's an indictment on INEC itself.
Can he be taken to court for that
of course,
statement?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not really. If he's alleging that there was electoral malfeasance, and maybe INEC was in collusion with party faithful to manipulate the system in favor of a particular candidate, those are matters that the court will determine one way or the other. So he has a right to be aggrieved. This is an aggrieved person. Obviously, he is aggrieved. You cannot stop him to from expressing his grievances. He's aggrieved. But the system, the election has been conducted. And these grievances can only find vent if they are taken before the Federal High Court for judicial review and interpretation. And if indeed they find merit in his allegation, of course, the election will be cancelled and a fresh primary will be conducted.
Okay, so quickly, before we get on to our next story, let's look at the overall message of this reaction here, talking about how that the APC will lose the governorship elections if the primary is not cancelled. What do you really make of that? I mean, APC currently is the incumbent party in the state, and I like to highlight the fact that it's an uncommon situation in Nigeria for an incumbent government to lose an election. So what do you make of this statement? Do you think there are chances that indeed APC could lose the governorship election if the aggrieved members in the party, if the conflict are not settled?
I've just told you that a political party does not determine the general election. The grievances and divisions and schism amongst party stalwarts is not enough to cause a defeat in the general election, because the party is just a microcosm of the entire population in Ondo State.
Okay.
All right? Not every member, not every citizen in Ondo State is a member of APC. But trust me, during the election, you're going to see people who are bipartisan. You're going to see people who are even apolitical, who are going to cast their votes. Votes will be determined by those who are armed with PVCs and who are ready and willing to cast their votes. That is what happens during the general election. So anybody can emerge from the primaries by any method whatsoever. It may not be primaries, it may not be direct primaries, it may not be delegates, it may just be by consensus. All right, so there are several methods by which candidates emerge from different political parties. So it doesn't really matter how the candidate emerges. What matters is that at the end of the day, he will be presented to the general public to be assessed, you know, vis-a-vis their opponent from other political parties. You're not going to tell me because APC has an internal issue, internal wrangling, and then probably they have a candidate whose credentials are impeccable, who is generally accepted, widely accepted by Ondo people, that just because you have internal crisis in APC, that the other people who are not members of APC will not. That is not the parameter by which you measure success or failure during election. It is what the people of Ondo State feel like at the moment. It is the decision of the Ondo people that matters, not what APC thinks about the election.
Okay, all right then. We will take a quick break, a very short break here. Do not go anywhere because we have more interesting conversations coming your way on Atn Politics. Stay with us.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport-trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. You human trafficker. You're a human trafficker.
On them. They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders,
Ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family.
politics, natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today. Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family.
natural. ATN covers it all.
Now to the rest of our stories. As protest trails his victory in last weekend's primary election of the All Progressives Congress, Ondo State Governor Honorable Lucky Aiyedatiwa has unveiled his campaign headquarters located in Akure. The governor stated this when he paid a thank you visit to the state secretariat of the party in Akure, the state capital. Accompanied by some parties, his motorcade made its way to the party office. Responding, one of the party members said the governor has shown leadership and has done the needful by coming to meet the SWC of the party after his victory in the primary election. He said, the primary election in APC is a family affair. We have elected our governorship candidate. Now that the primary is over, we must remain the same progressive family and we must all come together for the election in November. Joining me again is a political analyst, a socio-political analyst, Honorable Alaka. It's good to have you on the conversation. Okay, so I will start with you on this particular story here. We can see that Ayedatiwa has taken the bold step, perhaps listening to the calls for reconciliation with other aggrieved aspirants, as it were, not disputing the fact that there are still protests ongoing owing to his emergence as the flag bearer of the party ahead of the governorship election. And he has also fixed
meeting the governor, Lucky, for coming out victorious through the party primaries. And it is expected that there has to be someone to bear the flag of the party. And that's why the party has a mechanism every other person, citizens of the states, and members of you need to unveil your campaign. Have a U-turn, have a rethink for the interests of
have a rethink.
Yes, for the overall interests of the party. You know, as party men or as a party man, you must have two things: going to the poll or going through the process of election being a process. Also put yourself in a position where, what if it is not you who is being declared as the winner? What if someone else is being declared? Now, what if it's me against others? Would I not call for peace? And so every politician who is interested.
We've had people who have gone like that and succeeded at the end of the day to set aside the primaries. And if you remember the Amechi's case, it was something similar to what is unfolding in Ondo State, where he challenged the process that brought in Omeya and succeeded at the Supreme Court. So you can't stop a man who has decided and is determined to pursue his interest if he feels that he was cheated out of the process. That is not to say what the governor has done for calling for peace is out of place. Of course, the unity of the party is critical because you will need party members to galvanize support for you. But like I said before, it doesn't behoove on the political party to determine whether there's going to be victory or not. If you look at the results of the primaries, I think you had just